Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. We have a great interview for you today on the eve, the precipice of Chapter 2 of the battle, the one that hadn't been played for 7 years. We are right about to have Chapter 2, the second time around, Columbiana and Crestview. And you can watch it right here on YSN. But even more so, listen, this is the owner of YSN talking. I don't want you to watch it. Joe won't be offended. I want you to go there. I want you to fill up Firestone Park, and I want you to show the support for local baseball, because this is going to be a battle of if the first game, listen, if that first game was any indication, this game is going to be unbelievable. Winner moves on, loser goes home. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we bring in one of my dearest friends, quite literally DNA of the YSN brand. Ladies and gentlemen, Bryce Franken. What's up, Coach?
Oh, how we doing?
I'm doing great. The better question, how are you doing? I mean, this has been a heck of a year for you guys.
I'm doing awesome. We are so fired up for tomorrow. We knew Crestview was going to be playing Waterloo on Monday. We went out there to watch that game yesterday, and we had a good feeling that tomorrow was going to be the matchup that we're getting. And we're very excited to get a rematch of what we had earlier in the year at Eastwood Field.
When you take a look at what this means to everybody, I mean, you are no stranger to this rivalry. You love it. You know it. You were a big part of getting it back together. Did you look down? I mean, as a coach, did you happen to kind of look down the bracket and say, if this happens, we could have Chapter 2?
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Where we set ourselves up, we saw an open line below us that we had a good feeling that Crestview would maybe want to get a rematch there, so we kind of anticipated that, and sure enough, Coach Kibbe and Coach Knox over there,
incredible.
They're incredible coaches. So we had a good feeling that they were, going to be antsy to try to come back after us, and we're more than happy to have that rematch.
I mean, to wear that target on your chest, on your back, is that a measure of pride for this team, knowing what it once was, the tradition of Columbiana baseball, and then what you went through, and then you're bringing it back?
Absolutely. Coach Knox actually used to coach at Columbiana.
Sure did.
Last time Columbiana went to state, Coach Knox was the coach, and I had him for 3 years. And back then we were playing Crestview pretty regularly when I was in school, and then it kind of went away, but happy it's making a comeback here for sure.
This is an interesting thing, because this is like Darth Vader versus Luke Skywalker, the Jedi and the Padawan. What did you learn from the first game that you played against each other? I mean, little intricacies. Now, we always say that it's easier to learn when you lose. You guys walked out with the dub. For you, when you sit there and you go and break down that game tape, what is it you were looking for the entire time? What can you guys do better?
One of the big things, we scored all 3 runs in that game in the second inning.
Yeah.
And Julian, who I'm guessing we are getting tomorrow.
Yeah.
Fiesel through Monday, so I'm guessing we're getting Julian on tomorrow. He shut us down.
Yeah.
For 5 innings of that game. So we know he's going to come out and compete. We know they're going to come out and compete, but we're going to get after it. Do some different things. Not going to give away too much.
Sure, of course not.
But, definitely approach needs to change as far as what we saw in the last 5 innings of that game. Alex came out, shut them down. Alex is going tomorrow.
He was a dog.
Yeah, he's a dog. He always has been, always will be. Unfortunately, we are losing him to Worcester after this year, but we know he's going to go be a dog there too.
That's it.
He's going for us tomorrow. We know he's going to give us his best, and we know we're going to get their best after getting them up there at Eastwood. So we are all ready for tomorrow.
Now, a game like this by itself, we saw the emotions involved. You put a lot more spectators in the stands than I've seen for baseball in a long time. When you add the dimension of winner goes on, loser goes home, how do you keep your emotions in check, let alone the players?
Oh, I've been, like I said, Waterloo, gave them a good game yesterday.
Yeah.
But we kind of had a good feeling that tomorrow was going to be what it was going to be, and a rematch between us. And I've been antsy for this since the brackets came out. Looking forward to this game, and I know these guys have been. And it's like you said, do or die, and that definitely adds an element of a little bit of anxiety. But we know we play our best game. We're going to go out there and take care of business.
Expectations when you look at kind of what this game brings to the table. But I mean, a home game nonetheless. Did you have a chance? I guess the first best part of the question is, did you have a chance when you guys were at Eastwood when that game was going down to kind of scope out like, holy cow, we are in a minor league baseball park.
Yeah.
And you had people all over the place, whether they're from Crestview or Columbiana or a mixture of both. We saw families that were a family divided. Did you have a chance to kind of let that sink in of what you and I say you, Columbiana and Crestview have been able to do?
Yeah, I mean, it was a surreal experience up there. Thank you to Bubble Tech USA and Mike Irvin for really putting that together. And it was just a great opportunity. I mean, to have all the kids from both youth organizations come out. It was awesome. I mean, to be able for our kids to have that experience of playing in front of a big crowd like that, and for their kids, and just a way to bring everybody together for the first time in 7 years.
Yeah.
I mean, it was incredible. It was a really surreal experience.
I look at this almost like a hockey game, right? Because at the end of this game, win, lose, or draw, no draws, please. You guys are going to shake hands, and no matter what happens, there's going to be a great team that leaves and will represent Columbiana in the next round. For you, do you have to? I mean, you guys obviously won't be on the bus, but like, will you have a pregame speech? Do these guys need a pregame speech to get ready for a game, and to even like understand what is at stake?
Yeah. So, I think the first time around, those guys really going into that first time maybe didn't truly understand the meaning until we got up there and saw those stands and how packed they were, almost an hour away from town. The people that drove up there and came out, because these guys, they played them back in pony ball, but they had never gotten the experience of playing them in high school. So it wasn't, I think traditionally the older people like myself. I mean, I don't call myself an old
come
person,
on.
But the older guys that had experienced it. These guys hadn't really experienced it yet, and I think playing up there that first time, they really got to see, oh my gosh, this means everything.
Bryce, what's crazy to me is, as someone who's been doing this, I mean, it feels like not for too long. It's been 7 years for us as well, but to see you grow up in the way that you have, the emotions that you've had to deal with as in your 2 years as a head coach. I mean, you've played your dad on the opposite dugout. You've helped bring back the Crestview rivalry here in Columbiana County. You've brought Columbiana back to, I think, the standard that it's always set out to be. And I think Coach Knox would stamp that as well. And then, by the way, you're a dad now. So, I mean, for you to have to compartmentalize so many different parts of what you've become just as a baseball coach, what has that ride been like for you, kind of sitting in the driver's seat?
I'll tell you, praise the Lord for giving me the opportunity to do this job. It's not always easy, and I thank my wife, Lauren, for everything. It's a lot of nights away.
Sure.
And my kids, we, Theo and Scarlett, I mean, this time of the year, I realized it actually. I ran home before practice today, and I had not seen Scarlett all day yesterday.
Oh.
And I realized when I saw her face and she smiled at me, that was the best feeling in the world.
Right.
So, I do this for these guys, and for the Lord, with the talent He's blessed me with to do. Yeah, and and then I do it for my family, who they're everything to me. So when I have to take all this time away from them, I sure as heck better make sure it's worth it. And and like you said, getting to play my dad. This most recent time, he got us. And that was actually, like you said before, you learn more from the losses.
Yeah.
We learned a lot from that game. And we're carrying those lessons that we learned in that game into this one tomorrow, big time.
We missed an element, and I apologize. You're also brother and marketing powerhouse for Chase. I mean, you have been such an advocate for Chase, who, by the way, is a senior. They just had senior day for Youngstown State University. That young man has done more, and there's been nobody that's been in his corner more than you. Why? and I know that's a loaded question, right? And there's a lot of ways you can go, but I guess the biggest thing is like when you're a brother and you have a lot on your plate, as we just discussed. How do you still have time to kind of still be his number one fan?
Getting me emotional.
Sorry, buddy.
It's been a roller coaster 4 years.
Yeah.
For that young man. And I can say, I've never been more proud of the person he's become through the experiences he's had. The maturity level. I mean, to go from a high schooler to in a big fish in a small pond.
He was the dog.
To, small fish in a huge pond.
Yeah.
And to deal with some of the adversity he's dealt with over the years, and to finally, this year he just home run on senior day.
Yeah.
I mean, that was that, and for us to be able to be there, that was awesome. I'm there, my wife's there, my kids are there, my dad's there, my grandpa's there, my mom's on Mother's Day, Mom.
Oh.
My mom got to experience. That was the first home run he had hit live in front of her in
years.
Since high school.
Yep.
So that was a surreal experience even. So for him to finally just see the success I know he's worked his behind off to earn, it's a surreal experience.
We're gonna have to get him
praise the
tested.
Lord.
We're gonna have to get him tested. My dude is just launching baseballs right now. I know. Listen, I saw your post. I was bummed out as much as you were that nobody was there. Right?
Yeah.
That stinks. That's when my heart drops because those moments you can never get back. But it's one of those things. Like I have been so. Like, there's been a lot of people that have ridden your case for years about how much you put Chase up there and the pedestal that you put him on. But listen, who's laughing now, right? You believed in him when probably he didn't believe in himself in moments. And here he is living his best life.
Yeah, you best believe the 11 o'clock at night phone calls.
Yeah.
That last into midnight and beyond that. Because that's the time we have to talk. Yeah. And, just to see the hard work he's put in come to fruition has been an awesome experience. And Wright State probably thinks he's Barry Bonds. They're like, he's hit 3 home runs against us.
Give him the old 4.
Yeah. And they probably look at the stats otherwise and they're like, wait, this guy's got 3 home runs against us.
Could have had him.
Listen.
Is that the mindset for him? I'm gonna go prove everybody wrong now?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
He definitely plays with a chip on his shoulder, and as everybody should.
Does he get that from you?
I think he gets a little bit from me, a little bit from my dad.
Yeah.
And my mom, one of the strongest people I know. So
yeah.
He's had we've tried to give him a great support system, and I know he appreciates it for sure, and. I know his faith actually this year has taken a huge jump.
Which is more important than anything.
He's really put everything into the Lord's hands at this point.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, and whatever it happens is the Lord's will. So he's really embraced that, not for the first time, but more than ever this year. He's just kind of let things play out, and it's great to see the personal success that he's had.
Look at you, man. Mr. Coach all across. All right, so I got to ask you this question. Success, there's so many variables of additions of what success means for you this year, your second year coaching the Columbiana Clippers. What dictates success for you, for this team?
Well, we went undefeated in the EOAC again, back-to-back years. That was the goal from.
Congratulations.
Thank you. That was the goal. That's the first goal.
Yeah.
Of the year, is to make sure we take care of business in the league, and obviously United, they're the big.
Sure.
The other big gun. East Palestine gave us a game.
Yeah.
And we had to fight like bulldogs to beat the Bulldogs, and Kale Moraski's a heck of a pitcher.
Yeah.
And he gave us his best. I told the guys, it got into extra innings. I'm like, all right, this has turned into a playoff game. We got to find a way to win. So, again, and that was a case where we actually were able to learn from the wins.
Yeah.
But
those are the ones you like, right?
Yeah, those are the ones you like. but also the fact that it went to extras and we had to learn how to play extra inning baseball and figure out a way to win was huge. And we handled some adversity down in Lisbon. Even we went down 5-0 down in Lisbon. Had to it's the third inning again. Brady Carpenter, another good pitcher down there in Lisbon, had us on our heels for 3 innings, and they put up 5, and we had to figure out a way, and we did. We scored 11 in the 4th, but just we had to figure out some different ways to win, which is why I would take of the two, I'm very proud of this year's undefeated EOA season just because of some of the adversity we had to deal with.
Okay, you walk away tomorrow, win, lose, or draw. What dictates the success in that game?
I'm looking to win tomorrow, 100%. Going into tomorrow, I believe we are very well prepared. I know those guys are going to be well prepared, and they're going to give us their best game for sure. Like I said, winning the league, we've done that twice now. We're looking to make a little bit of a run here. We have 7 seniors that I believed in from the time they were freshmen. This is a group, really, going back to Chase's 2020 group that never got to play.
Yeah.
This is the first group since then where it's a loaded senior class, and we're hoping to make a little bit of a run here, especially with the pitching in Alex Eusebio and Devin Doherty that we have.
Love it. All right, last question for you. We talked about your brother. We got to talk about your dad, the influence that he's had on you. Obviously, a skipper now. He does the officiating. He's the voice of Columbiana before Joe Eusebio came along. For you, I'm sure you have just as many talks with your dad as you do with Chase. What does your dad mean to you with Father's Day coming around the corner? For you, the influence that Mark Franken brings to the table.
I mean, everything I've learned about the game, I've learned from him. Everything about my faith, I've gotten from him. My dad is the most influential person in my life, and I'm thankful to say that he still is. Some people growing up, as things like you said, we get busy,
yep.
And you kind of start to lose a little bit. I'm very blessed to say that I still have a great connection with my father, and we're talking every day, and sometimes it's harder to talk to each other, especially after that game last Friday.
Sure.
But he's my biggest supporter. I'm his biggest supporter, and they are actually playing at home tonight, out in Unity against Fairport Harding, and they'll hopefully get that done tonight.
You're a coach. He's a coach. You're a teacher. He's a teacher. Apple tree, right? I mean, when you were growing up, did you look at him like every child seemingly, every son seemingly looks at his father like, hey, I want to get into the family business, so to speak? Do you wanted to be a teacher, and did he influence that?
I would say I went to school originally to be an accountant.
Okay.
I don't want to say he pushed me away, but
right.
He was like, go try this, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be a teacher like that.
Are you happy that you made that decision?
Yeah. I mean, it definitely, to have the opportunity to come back to Columbiana and teach and coach has been a major blessing for me. And, so I'm thankful for the decision I made. Dude,
you wear that Clipper hat with pride because
Absolutely.
You graduated from Columbiana. Now you're coaching and influencing and impacting lives. Last question, I promise. What does it mean to you for that, to see your alma mater, these kids graduate with that sense of pride in the red and the white and wear that Clipper proudly on their head? What does that mean to you when you guys go out on a daily basis and you're defending Columbiana?
Yeah, absolutely. And more than ever, we're defending Columbiana tomorrow because we are.
It's the battle for Columbiana.
Yeah, it's the battle for Columbiana. I have a lot of pride in the red and white. And to be able to go to the same field in the same gym that I played on every day and lead these young men to be the best they can be, it's an awesome experience. And again, battle for Columbiana tomorrow, the pride in the red and white, I'm excited.
Bryce Franken, an impromptu sit down. You walk into athletics. I mean, how cool is it that you get to walk in on days that it's raining or threatening to rain, and you get to go hit some baseballs and field?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This place is beautiful. Athletics here, the fact that we're able to use 3 cages. They have the hack attack machine that is really able to amp things up. We got coaches throwing live too, and then some short work here, just to be able to do a bunch of different things and rotate, and especially the day before a huge game is awesome.
And
so
you guys can walk home. I mean, it's
yeah,
incredible. It's right
absolutely.
here.
Yeah, we were over at Firestone for an hour here before, and now we're here for an hour and ready to get ready to get going for tomorrow.
Bryce, thank you so much for the time.
Absolutely.
Good luck tomorrow, and of course, you're always welcome here. I mean, you're literally entwined in the DNA of YSN. So thank you so much.
I appreciate it, DJ. Thanks.